We'll certainly chat about that. Joining us now, a senior NFL insider for ESPN who might have a little bit more information on Ty Schmidt, who is an owner of the team. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yay.
Schefter, you made a lot of people pumped over here in the Thunderdome whenever you put out that tweet about they're looking to potentially do a deal with Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. I think, now granted, it might be because I'm around Ty, and Ty is much like, I guess, search engines. He gets to filter what I kind of know from Green Bay Packers fans, what he picks and chooses for me to know. But it felt like a lot of people thought if he was to lose again, especially in a collapsing fashion like he did to Ben Johnson, there was a chance his time was going to be up, especially because Ed Policy first year, big move maker, traded for Micah Parsons, has no real connection to anybody else on the staff, did not offer extensions to LaFleur or Gutekunst, that if he was to lose, he'd be gone. You put out a tweet that say, hey, they're looking to do a deal. Where do we sit? What does that mean? And how do you think it all kind of shakes up from where we're sitting right now, Schefter?
I still think we're at a time here where the one thing that we do know is they are going to try to get a deal worked out. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to get a deal worked out, but they're certainly going to try. And we've seen an explosion of head coaching salaries in recent years. And Matt LaFleur obviously will argue that he deserves and is worth more than some coaches have been paid in recent years. Everybody wants what they are worth on the open market. And really, what he's worth on the open market, again, let's do it this way. If he were free, which he's not, what would the Tennessee Titans, Atlanta Falcons, Cleveland Browns, New York Giants, what would they be willing to pay Matt LaFleur per year? And I would say it will be well north of what the Green Bay Packers have offered so far. So it's up to the two sides to figure it out, whether they can bridge their differences and come up with a deal that they're comfortable with, knowing that there would be any number of other teams that would be.
That's it right there. Construction. They just fired him.
No. That's we got calls coming in. I don't know why that happens. Can you see me now? Or I have no idea.
Kind of a silhouette of you. It's kind of mysterious. Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. If you were to just, okay, you're back. You're back. With Cool Watch, we saw it. Go ahead.
It's a situation where they're going to try to figure out, see if they get a deal done. And in my mind, and this is an assumption, I'm assuming that Green Bay has a certain price that it would like to get Matt LaFleur done at.
Okay.
And like everybody, you are willing to go to a certain level.
Yeah.
At what level is it too much? They say, okay, you know what? Maybe we're missing 2 first-round draft picks from the Micah Parsons trade. Maybe we look to get some draft capital back for you if the two sides can't agree on a price. Like, I think that's within the realm of options.
Okay.
But the one thing you know is that they are going to try to work out a deal, and we'll see if they can get it done.
Okay, so I'm piecing some things together. Team with no owner, okay? Team's money.
Ty's the owner.
Certainly, Ty is paid for a paper and has contributed to the fund. You know, also the real estate around that we've seen, the open books, like $170 million or something like that on real estate, $200-some million in a profit. So they don't have an ownership. They don't have an owner person. They have a committee that kind of votes. It's the public owns it, the team owns it, which we respect and appreciate. But what we're saying here, if I'm following right, Ed Policy's policy is going to be, hey, this team's money, we want you here, $7-8 million. Okay, we'll have you. Okay, you've been terrible in the playoffs, 3-6 in the playoffs. Yep. So we'll pay you $7-8 million. $15 million though, of not my money or anybody's money really. That's
7. He's already above 7.
He's already above 7. Okay, so 10, whatever the number is, whatever the number that they're saying it's worth. They're saying that money that they don't own, that is no cap or no limit on it, right? Owners can pay whatever they want. They're cutting it off. You can't get it. We need to spend it on another tubing hill outside of the Packers instead of you being the coach for our team. What does this mean? We won't pay him what he's. But there's no cap on what you can pay coaches. So Ed Policy's policy is we like you to pay you about mid-tier because that's what we think you are. You don't like it? You don't like that? And then he's like kind of baiting him to say, no, I don't like it. I want to go elsewhere. Is that what we got going on here? Because him negotiating for money that isn't his or anybody's is a funny thing to think of whenever it's like $5-6 million a year probably difference. That's a funny thing, just an angle of negotiation. Sounds like they don't want to give him a deal, right?
I think it's hard to know exactly what is real and what's not there.
Got it, okay.
Again, here's the deal. Like in any negotiation, actions speak loudest. So the Packers may come in at whatever number, and if it's below market, they're telling him something in a direct way. Or again, they simply say like this should not be. If we're just talking out, this should not be a difficult deal to do
at all. Right? That's what I'm kind of saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the money is set. This is what everybody else is
Either they want it or they don't. That's what it feels like. Either they want them or they don't.
By the way, you come
right?
up with each of the coaches' salaries, which they can get, which we have an idea of, okay? And you slot in where you think Matt LaFleur would be in that area. And I would say this. Does he deserve more than some coaches who have been hired in recent years? That number's been 11, 12, $13 million.
Yes.
The top coaches, Super Bowl winning coaches, 18, 19, 20 million.
No.
Has he won the Super Bowl? No, he has not. So should he be paid more than the young guys? Yes. Should he be paid as much? No. There it is. We've just bridged the differences in 20.
That's what I'm saying. And that money that we just put out on the table for him, that you just figured out right there, not anybody's. It's just, it exists. Like, do we just choose to spend it? There's no repercussions other than we have to pay this to you. It doesn't cut into anybody else's salary. It doesn't prohibit us at all. This is fairy tale money. This is the going rate for you. And it's just like, if you're not, I like that Ed Policy's playing a little game here. I like that Ed Policy's like, yeah, you don't like it? You don't like it at all? Okay. And then who they're going to pay the next guy more?
Sure.
No.
Just to stick it to LaFleur.
I don't know who it is.
Harbaugh? If it's Harbaugh?
If it's Harbaugh,
20-something.
The entire Harbaugh situation. Bell of the ball still, teams with coaches, potentially Packers, thinking about moving into the Harbaugh sweepstakes? Like, kind of how do we kind of sit with it all right now?
Well, if you want John Harbaugh in New York, I think the first thing you want is the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur to work out a deal. That's the first thing you want to have happen. Because if they don't work out a deal, that opens up the possibility of Green Bay as a potential favorite there. Now, again, John Harbaugh gets to sit back and call the shots here to a certain extent. And he has interest from these teams. He could go, I'm sure, to New York if he wanted, Atlanta to there if he wanted, Tennessee if he wanted, Cleveland if he wanted. We're waiting to see, obviously, what else transpires, namely Green Bay. We mentioned yesterday on air, again, it might mean nothing, but I don't think it does mean nothing. His agent is Brian Harlan. Brian Harlan's father was Bob Harlan. AJ, you know Bob Harlan, right?
Oh, yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, former president of the Green Bay royalty in Green Bay. The Harlans and Green Bay are quite familiar with one another. So we now have a Harlan representing John Harbaugh with deep Midwestern roots. Like, you could just see where all this could be headed if they don't get a deal done with Matt LaFleur. I think they'd like to keep Matt LaFleur. I think he'd like to stay. But again, in a negotiation, everybody's got certain stances and ideas and leverage, and you see how it plays out. And again, it'd be great if we got word this afternoon the Packers and Matt LaFleur reached agreement on a new extension, and he's staying. That's within the realm of options, but it's not the only option.
Okay, so Harbaugh is able to pick and choose. When do we expect, what is the calendar here for us to kind of know when all this is going to happen?
It doesn't feel...
That was a good sigh.
Yeah,
Holy
wow.
hell. That was a good sigh. That was good. That was from here.
Yeah, kitchen's going well.
Guttural sigh.
Yeah.
Guttural.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was good.
It doesn't feel to me like it's imminent. I'll just say that. Now, all of a sudden, could it change tomorrow or Wednesday? I think this is a week where it's going to start gaining momentum, some of these things. Let's also keep in mind that teams can't do face-to-face interviews with coaches until January 19th, a week from today.
Got it. Okay, so...
under contract. Like John Harbaugh could interview today. Raheem Morris fired, could be interviewed today. Antonio Pierce interviewed last week with the Giants. Mike McCarthy with the Giants tonight and tomorrow. You're fired, not under contract. You could go now.
Good luck, Coach Mike. We're pulling for you, brother. Now, you didn't mention a name, but go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Schefter, what are you hearing about Kevin Stefanski? I did see a picture, I believe. I don't know if it was real or not. Him waiting in line to board a plane to New York last week, I believe. But what's his options look like?
That picture was real, I believe. And
you take it.
I expect he's going to get one of these head coaching jobs. Like, to me, I think we're going to wait to see what happens with Matt LaFleur. We're going to wait to see what happens with John Harbaugh. And I think Kevin Stefanski is right after. Now, could there be a team that just steps out and say, we want Kevin badly enough, and we're not going to wait, and we don't think we're going to get John Harbaugh? Yeah, that definitely could happen. And I just think Kevin Stefanski is going to emerge from this cycle with a head coaching job. It would be a surprise to me, an upset if he didn't.
Him selling so hard, $230. You remember? $230 million guaranteed to a guy he didn't remember how to play football.
Flacco off the couch.
Yeah, remember? We got to the playoffs. Remember that? And then guess what? The next year, Shador, Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun's coming back, Joe Flacco's here, Kenny Pickett's here. I mean, we still won some games. What do you expect from me? And ownership goes, you're right, Haslam. That place has no shot. We'll hire you. Is that kind of the mindset there? Because I saw McDaniel was getting an interview as well. And my first thought is there's no way McDaniel gets another head coaching job after what just happened. Maybe offensive coordinator job. There'll be a lot of places that would probably love to have him as a coordinator, just like Robert Saleh just went back and is now the DC yet again for San Francisco, get a huge win in the playoffs, and now his name's hot again back in the head coaching cycle. I assume that for McDaniel, but he's getting head coaching interviews. He just got one with Cleveland, I believe. Is that to be expected, and is that how we should be kind of talking about McDaniel at this point?
You know, Cleveland's definitely toyed with the idea of what it would look like if they hired Mike McDaniel as their head coach. I think when it comes to Cleveland, I think Jim Schwartz looms large there in this regard. Like, he's a guy that has served his time and paid his dues and is worthy of a head coaching job. And I don't think Cleveland could go hire a defensive-minded head coach and expect that Jim Schwartz is going to want to stay on or be willing to stay on. So now if you're Cleveland, you're going to want to shift it to the offensive side. Now, how would Jim Schwartz feel? He probably feels he's ready for a head coaching job if they hire Mike McDaniel. Would he be upset with that? I don't know. That's a question and a conversation they have to have with him. But I think any hire they make, they're going to want to keep Jim Schwartz. And I think that those things are kind of interconnected, whichever candidate they decide to fall on. In an ideal world, they're looking for an offensive-minded coach. But it has to be the right guy, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Man, if they find a Liam Cohen, and he goes in there and flips the entire culture with Schwartz and that defense they already have, well, look out, Cleveland Browns could be the new kings of the AFC.
But why couldn't Jim Schwartz be the head coach himself?
Well, because you said that you're keeping him as a defense coordinator.
Has he been interviewed?
No, I'm saying he's interviewed for the head coaching job, and my point is, if you can't find the right dynamic, to me that is one of the scenarios that exists out there that he could be the head coach there.
Schwartz is a dog.
Oh yeah, big time.
That defense is unbelievable, historic. Actually, if you talk about how they actually performed at home, Myles Garrett just broke the record. Jared Allen says. I got something to say about that. I watched a little clip, but nonetheless, Myles Garrett, Hall of Famer, first ballot, and has the record. Schwartz, I think, ready, second time too, right? Being a head coach, I believe this will be his second time. Got a chance to kind of revisit the entirety. Okay, let's talk about, not great news coming out of Philadelphia. I like Philly, okay? Congrats to the Niners. Hey, that's a big-time win. With all the injuries, Kyle Shanahan better be up for Coach of the Year, Tone Diggs, AP voter. I better see his name on that particular ballot and better see it on your ballot.
You won't.
You're not allowed to say anything because they're,
Thank you.
Good job.
But whenever it comes out, we're going to need to see that. So just know, tick, 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 tick. We're about to find out about it all. So great win for the Niners. But on the Philadelphia side, seems like there's been a lot of issues on the offensive side of the ball. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Speaking of the defending champ just got knocked off, it's been loud around offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo all season long. Obviously, it's been a revolving door at that position for Jalen Hurts pretty much every year he's been in the league. What are you hearing about Patullo's future in Philadelphia?
Well, I think the last time this team struggled, coming off a Super Bowl type of season, they made dramatic changes to the coordinator spots. And one of the spots they made was they hired Kellen Moore, and that worked out great. And then when Kellen left to become the head coach of New Orleans, a team that had a strong finish this year, they obviously hired Kevin Patullo. The offense has looked simple, flat, basic. I think a lot of people around the league all expect that there'll be change there coming to the offensive side of the football. It's a question of how extensive it is, how much the Eagles want to do. But I think that seems to be the prevailing wisdom. The offense never seemed to get it going. The offense yesterday had the opportunity to try to save the game, pull out the win at the end. Basically, their season was left in the hands of their offense to come through in that one drive, and they didn't get it done. And I know that they feel like they have the talent there. The personnel is top flight, and didn't happen. So there's going to be fallout there, no doubt.
Yeah, certainly. It was loud all year for them.
Oh, yeah.
And just think, if somebody trips, falls, and Goddard picks up another touchdown, and they win that game, we're going to next week with the Philadelphia Eagles saying, these guys, man, they have a fight on the sideline.
Find a way.
Big Dom's in action. He's catching passes now. You know, like we would be having that. But instead, great hands, by the way. Hey, that's why you get a little boo-boo.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's why somebody makes a little boo-boo after you.
At least he caught the damn ball.
And then right after he caught, well, see, that's what a lot of people in Philly are saying. A lot of people immediately say after A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni kind of go draw a face mask there on the sideline and Big Dom has to get involved. A lot of people say, well, he's clearly trying to get out of town. Trade him. Everything will seemingly go better next year. That ain't going to happen. What's the cap hit?
$78 million in dead cap.
So let's figure out how we get everybody get along. That's what they're going to be trying to figure out over there in Philadelphia. Good luck to them. Now let's talk about tonight's game, shall we, Schefty? A super wild card weekend wraps up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Schefter, tonight, Steelers, Texans. I believe both teams are relatively healthy, unless you have any other information that I do not have. And then, talking about tonight's game, if this is the 7th straight playoff loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is there any world where this is Mike Tomlin's last game as a Pittsburgh Steeler? Obviously, and we've talked about this before, you said it would probably be on his own decision.
Yeah. Tone, how do you feel about the game tonight?
I am cautiously optimistic.
You are?
Yeah.
You know what I like for tonight for you?
Uh-huh.
I like the fact that most people feel like Houston's going to win. It just feels like most people are expecting Houston with that defense to go in there and win the game. And usually it feels like most people are wrong. That's what happens.
Schefty, breaking, if you want to tweet this. First time, Super Wild Card Weekend. First time, public betting. Over 60% of the public bets. 5-0 heading in. 5-0. All season, to your point, though, whenever most people think a thing, it's wrong, you're right. Yep. All season, 60% plus of the public bets just absolutely demolished. Super Wild Card Weekend, though, 5-0. Does that mean tonight it makes it 6-0, and the people actually know what we're talking about? There's a chance that
People are due for a loss tonight.
See, you're one of those super negative guys.
That's what stats would say.
No, I'm just saying stats, people are due to be wrong
Nope,
tonight.
the crown is mine.
Crown is yours. No, the crown is yours.
No,
Correct.
the crown is ours. 5-0 on the weekend. Good for us, boys.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to think about tonight, though, Schefty? What are kind of your thoughts, other than, the Houston Texans defense can bring the Boo Birds to a stadium, and Yinzer certainly have been eager this year in the crowd. A lot of vocal displays of unpleasantry, I would say, from the Steelers faithful during primetime games, and a lot of home blowouts that have kind of happened throughout this season that is very unexpected. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are basically the same thoughts that we had going into the Steelers-Ravens game, except they now have a tougher defense. Is this the last game of Aaron Rodgers' career? What about Mike Tomlin's future? Aaron told you guys that he was done after this year. He was pretty adamant about that, and then he seemed to leave the door open here a couple of weeks ago. And then Mike Tomlin, I think the thinking, look, everybody's waiting to see what happens. He's got a year left in his contract after this year. I think people feel like he'll take some time and ultimately he'll fill or serve out the time in that contract. But everybody also knows that he could have a TV job tomorrow if he wants. He could take a year off if he wants. He could do whatever he wants. He's Mike Tomlin. So we don't have full clarity there as to what he'll wind up doing. So those questions linger when you have two individuals who have meant as much to the game as Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin have, who have been around as long as they have. DK Metcalf comes back tonight after the 2-game suspension. You would think he'd have a point to prove and something to make up after being out. It should be a great atmosphere. It should be a great Monday Night Football game. Look forward to it. That Houston defense is amazing. Azeez Al-Shire is a tackling machine. Will Anderson is he's unbelievable. Like, if he Wow. He's
Neil, too, brother. I mean, there's a lot of animals out there on that. I mean, we got a chance to see it live in person.
Jalen Petrie, right? I mean, all these. That's the league. Stingley right there.
D'Amico Ryans could play if he had to.
Yeah.
And also, did you hear J.J. Watt's motivational speech to the entire Houston faithful?
I didn't hear it, but if he gave it, that's it.
Turn it up a little bit. Can we get some sound on this?
Our city has something different about it. Something forged, not found.
Okay, because Pittsburgh wasn't forced.
It's in our DNA. It's in every fiber of our being. We were once the Bulls on parade.
This defense, they are the real deal.
But now, Cap's got this team swarming.
How do we want to build a team? I want to build it with players who swarm.
You see, we have a special work ethic and a relentless mindset that we never stop believing in.
When you think about a swarm, it's about that brotherhood, that togetherness, where we are powerful as one.
When you show up, you better be willing to do what they're not. Every snap, every breath, every hit.
And it's picked off. The takeaway train starts to roll.
Swarm is how work gets done. It's belief when no one else believes.
Texans run to save their season. Steps up. He's going to run. Mills. Touchdown, Texans.
At one point, it seemed like their season was falling apart. He believed the whole time.
This isn't about being heard. It's about becoming impossible to ignore.
These brothers are no joke. This defense is ferocious. They hit, they're rough riders. I mean, they come at you like that. Houston could be dead.
Right here, stopped by Petrie.
So listen up, because records, they don't mean a damn thing anymore.
We let the whole world know who the Texans are. Brown, well protected. Collins, wide into the end zone. Collins, touchdown. What a catch. No matter what we're up against, no matter how we have to go out and find a way to win games, you guys do that, man.
A swarm is coming, and it's built to hunt, built to finish.
A humongous touchdown to end the regular season.
And built to stop anything in our way. And if you've been here long enough, you know exactly what that means. Inches up, H-Town.
What do you think? Does that change the way you view the entire game? Are you going to speak differently tonight on Monday Night Countdown because you just watched that, Schefter? I think you maybe should think about it.
I'm going to run through a wall in my kitchen, except there are no walls in my kitchen.
It's already been done, brother. Already been done. You're the greatest. We appreciate you. Good luck tonight.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Schefter.